So Kylinn's dream physical. Let's hear it.
Imagine it's like the day at the spa.
Imagine a world.
Imagine a world. The things that I want a full body workup. So it's like, let's start with my physical currently. I take my physical very seriously. I actually gifted to myself as a birthday present. I've been doing it for the last 3 years. Now me and my doctor are locked in because she liked the fact that I was like, happy birthday, here's your health results. So I always get it like a couple days before my birthday. You get like your weight, your height, your blood pressure. You get your blood test done, but for like your typical stuff, so it's like your vitamin levels and then your platelet counts and various different tests. But I can't name them all off the top of my head right now. But it's like nothing actually. Like it's not even like a full thyroid panel.
No.
Like that's the thing that got me angry the first time. Well, this past year. But like the very preliminary like annual physical blood work, and then like you talk. And, like, that's all it is right now.
Yeah.
So, in an ideal world, I would want all of the blood tests that are relevant. So, for me, last year when I went to get my physical, I had just started going through, like, really bad joint pain. It started in October. I'm still going through it. But
Yeah.
thyroid, like, was a big question there. So, it's just, like, I wish I would have been able to utilize the time that I was already there and just, like, can you, like, put that sample onto that tester plate?
Yes.
So I don't have to come back, you know?
I agree. When I got my hormones tested for PCOS, it was a completely different, like I had gotten my blood test before. No one was testing my hormones.
Right.
No one's testing your hormones as a woman.
Right.
For anything, unless you tell them.
So exactly. So the care needs to start with the conversation. Well, listen, I think the care needs to start with the education because you don't know what you need until you need it.
Facts.
Conversation for a different day or a body talk. But
come and check us out.
Yeah, like generally though, if you had an in-depth conversation with your provider before you started doing the labs and the blood pressure and all that type of stuff, so you can learn, or your doctor can learn, hey, I've been struggling with these things. This is what I'm trying to do, and I'm on my first kid, but we're trying for the second in 6 months.
Yeah.
So that means I need to know what my iron levels are. I need to know like why my joints are hurting. So let's test the thyroid. Let's test the hormone. Like a lot of those other things that are not tested in a typical physical.
Yeah, I have another question. Your typical physical is with your primary.
Yeah.
Are these questions for the OB annual? Because that's another annual appointment that you have. You know?
I know, and that's what I think half the problem is. Like, because I understand that my primary care physician is not my OBGYN, and you're not my naturopath, and you're not my nutritionist, and you're not my dermatologist, and you're not all of these things. But it's like, that's also the problem. Why not? Yes, and I love every medical professional I've ever encountered.
Really?
No. But, like, I'm just giving my respect. I'm giving my respect to the medical profession.
Okay.
I absolutely could not do the things that we do without qualified health educators and health providers. However, like, I think that the different specialties also creates a very fragmented experience for the patient.
Yeah, I agree.
But like also though, I do think a PCP in the right healthcare environment, a PCP, primary care physician, in the right environment has the opportunity to do more and then point you in the right direction. So it's just like if you did do a more complete blood test during your annual physical, they can then give you the referral for like the next stage of the process. And maybe it's because up until this point, like I am still young and have been healthy my whole life. Thank God. It's like I haven't had to be, besides orthopedics, haven't had to be referred to a lot of different like places. So it's just like I feel like specialty care is often given at a time when things become chronic or reoccurring as opposed to like preventative specialist referrals.
Does that even exist?
The doctors be sick of me. I had my last insurance. I didn't need a referral, so I would just go straight to the specialist.
Wow. That's good.
Yeah.
That's not, is that normal?
I don't know.
I don't know if I don't think I can do that. I don't think I could do that, even in my last job.
But the specialist didn't actually fix my problem. But, so yeah, long story short, I don't know the answer. But I think that we're getting really close. And I think it's through conversations like this and like the work that we do amongst the conversations that we have that can like piece together the puzzle. I also am liking the conversation and trending of providers offering like private care. Yes, there are pros and cons when it comes to like the finances of that and like who's paying, how they're paying, how can they receive the services that they need. But like a more aligned and robust health experience, especially for women, I think is really important. Women and men.
Yeah, I think so too. And I had one more question before I turned it to you, but I forgot it. So you can take it away.
Back.
Maybe we'll.
All right.
Sweet. Can I just say something? We purposefully don't tell each other what we're going to talk about when we come to do podcasts. So these are like our raw, real reactions. And so that's why I'm like, I can't wait to see what she's going to bring up. It's exciting.
So let's start with Prenuvo prep. So as of right now, it's about to be May.
Yeah.
I told myself that I'm going to give myself a Prenuvo scan for my 30th birthday. Not 30th. My next birthday.
I was like, you're older than me now. Ooh.
My next birthday. And I am looking forward to the experience, the whole nine, yada, yada, yada. For those that don't know, we've talked about Prenuvo before on our podcast, but it's a full body MRI that takes about an hour to an hour and a half, and it scans your entire body. And ultimately with your results, you'll be able to see how everything's functioning, from your physical organs to your spinal health to your neurological health to anything that can be seen with an MRI. This test will give you the results for it. And there has been some conversation over the last couple of years, months, with Prenuvo, and just like this type of care in general. Is it too much? Are we creating a problem before it is a problem? Because ultimately, most of the time with these tests, people do find something. Whether
it's almost guaranteed you're going to find something.
Right. And most patients do find something that is negligible. So it's just like, oh, you have a little bit of something on your spleen. And then so do 99% of other people. Don't even worry about it.
Yeah.
So it's like that type of results. However, there are results that are more chronic in the timely fashion. So it's just like something
detrimental.
Detrimental.
Yeah.
Like immediate is the word that I'm looking for. So it's like you find something on this scan and you have to make arrangements to address it soon. And I saw a TikTok of this woman. She had a Prenuvo scan, and then 2 weeks later she was like scheduling her surgery because her spleen was like a day from rupturing. Like it was something bad. But why I'm bringing up this is because I am thinking about it from the perspective of insurance, like health insurance, disability insurance, life insurance. Because once you do some of these scans, even if you are fine presenting, you haven't had any past health concerns, if this test were to find something that makes you at-risk patient for your health insurance, your health insurance is going up, you're no longer eligible for certain disability insurances and life insurances as it relates to the conditions that it finds. So
that's sticky.
It's sticky and it's expensive. Yes. Because you then get put in the position where, or literally talking about myself, I'm put in the position now. It's like, okay, I don't have disability insurance at this moment because I don't think I need it. Yeah. But I know that if I want to take this next step in my preventative care, that I need to be prepared for what could happen. So it's really a catch-22. So it's like you're spending $2,500 more or less on the scan itself. That might be too high. I think it's more like $1,500s.
15 to 25.
I got to double.
That's just still.
It's expensive.
That's a good amount.
It's really nice dinner like 2 or 3 times over.
You'll be listening. Your radar. What dinner did you go to? That's $400.
I like to eat.
I love that. I love that for you. 7-course gual.
So, yeah. But so it's like it's the scan itself, and then it's all the things in advance that you have to prepare for.
What do you have to do to prepare?
Well, like once you get an insurance policy, that's like something you're now paying monthly for.
Can we talk about that? I think so. Wait, did you have a question, or is this a talking point?
We're just talking about Prenuvo prep, life insurance, disability insurance, all things preparation for getting old.
Yeah. So I think that the first thing that came into my mind is you have I don't even know about disability insurance. Is what I'm trying to say. So you saying that you're processing what will my effect of my Prenuvo scan have on my disability and life insurance, I don't even think personally that I have a deep enough understanding of how all of that works to even know that that would affect it.
I feel like most people don't.
So like, I think that that's a point of conversation is like, for like, is Prenuvo or this body MRI good for preventative care, but a negative for your insurance? Well, we first have to have a whole conversation about like, are people even
utilize? Are you prepared for Prenuvo?
Yeah, like no, for real. And that's things that people won't tell you and you won't think about. That's why you listen to our podcast. That's why you tune in, because I learned something new about that today.
Yeah.
But it's so true because I know when I got on my life insurance, I did this whole workup because I was like the healthiest, the youngest or whatever.
And they gave you a really nice, affordable policy.
Great affordable policy, like great things all around. And I'm curious, like, what if they started making people do MRIs?
Determine coverage.
Yeah, what if that was their workup? Ooh, that sounds like a horror movie.
And also, like, for certain policies, they tend to be age dependent, and also like insurance is its own beast. But it's like a lot of them now don't require health screenings prior to your policy starting.
Really?
Please hold. So I think, if that were ever to happen, I think it'd be a huge shift in the insurance industry.
Yeah.
And then also in terms of like preparedness and like things to look out for before doing something that could potentially change your trajectory of your life.
Yeah.
Like, who's there for you, both like familially and provider wise? So it's like, if you do find something, do you even have a primary care doctor yet to go talk to? Or will you have to go on ZocDoc and start looking for somebody that can like specialize in your ruptured spleen?
Yeah.
Like, you don't even like know where to start. Also, do you have like a care system? Like, who are you going to call in the waiting room when you hear that this is happening? Like, I think that the privatization of healthcare is presenting like a lot of cool and niche and innovative opportunities for longevity, but it's like the humanity in it can very quickly be ripped away.
Yeah. Yeah, no, those are really good points. My question in my head that I'm trying to answer is like, are full body MRIs the future of preventative care? Because if we look at what Tosi's definition, I'm not going to say this is like the website definition of preventive care is, I would say that it is you taking all the steps necessary to prevent bad things happening to your body. But is an MRI then, I don't know if it would be preventative care because it's diagnosing something you already have.
Right.
Versus stopping or limiting effects of something for the future. And it could be preventative care too. What do you?
Yeah, I think it still is preventative care in the sense that you are, quote unquote, catching something before it progresses. I thought you were going to talk more about like the modality of achieving the results, because like technically it's like, you can go through an MRI, but you can also get an EKG, an ultrasound, your blood pressure, and like there are different tests that you can do to get to the same result. You know?
Yeah.
So it's just a matter of the modality of how you achieve the result. And I just generally, like, our current healthcare system is not built in a way to easily achieve all of those tests in one sitting at all.
No. Absolutely not.
And then a fun fact, because I would put Prenuvo and full body scans, especially at their current price point, under
luxury,
like, boutique luxury healthcare.
Same.
It's not even healthcare. Boutique luxury health options.
Yeah.
But it goes into the longevity market overall. Longevity is booming.
You love the
longevity conversation. Loves this. It's booming, and it is obviously and clearly being most supported by high income earners.
Yes.
So it's like those who have the discretionary funds to spend on staying alive forever, they're spending it.
The rich people,
are
living longer.
Or at least trying to,
right? Yeah. No, that's interesting.
So I'll keep you up. Well, so I have a really great podcast suggestion. Money with Katie. Money with Katie, yes. She has a podcast episode she did a few months ago with a woman who was an executive at JP Morgan. And she talked about how she signed up for disability insurance just because like she didn't necessarily have any indicators that she was at risk for anything, but she signed up, and however many months or years after, she started going through crazy health conditions that prevented her from being able to work.
Wow.
And it started with like she lost her hearing, and then just like a lot of stress related conditions like just exacerbated in her body, and it made her unable to complete her job duties.
I think you told me about this.
Yeah. And then what JP, she was an executive. What JP was trying to pay her
was nothing.
Her cost of living, I'm ballparking numbers. Let's just say her cost of living was $10,000 a month. Okay. Just generally, JP Morgan was like, well, here's $1,500. Like, just like crazy, unexcusable.
For an executive. At JP Morgan and Chase.
Yes. And unless she had this disability insurance, her entire course of her life would have been changed.
Because now your whole life is adjusted to you being an executive at JP Morgan and Chase.
But she had this insurance that had been just developing over the years, and it really, really, really saved her at the end of the day. I would suggest a podcast. It's in the show notes.
Next thing I have is I'm on the innovation train, this podcast. But this is another one that I'm going to read a little description of, and I have a feeling I know what your response is going to be. But it's called Ember Labs Thermoregulating Wristband. You heard of it?
No.
Okay. Okay, so this is a wearable device that's a game changer for managing menopausal symptoms like hot flashes. It works by delivering personalized cooling or warming sensation to the skin, offering a natural, non-invasive way to stay comfortable. Controlled through a smartphone app, it allows users to tailor their experience, making it a powerful tool for anyone seeking relief from temperature fluctuations.
And this is a wristband.
Yeah. Think like this.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. What are your thoughts on this?
So like longevity tech in the longevity market, menopause tech, the menopause market is also booming.
It's booming.
Yeah. And I'm all for a device like that as long as it works. So I have a very on the skin relationship with like menopause, in the sense like I haven't gone through menopause yet, but my mom has, all of my aunts have, all the women in my life have. And growing up while my mom was going through menopause was incredible.
Incredible.
I remember we growing up in New York, in the middle of the winter, she would start having hot flash, all four windows of the car just down. And we're driving to school in the morning. It's like 6:30 in the morning. We're on the highway. All the four windows are down.
Baby Kylinn's like, Mom!
Yeah, so that, I feel like I'm thinking about experiences that I've like watched my mom and like loved ones go through with menopause. That bracelet is not doing anything for them. But I don't know. I think if it did, I'd be all for it. I'd be the number one fan of it, actually.
Yeah.
But it would have to work.
Yeah. No, I wanted to ask you about that before I tell you about another innovation for menopause, but it's for something different. So keep in mind this thermoregulating wristband, and I'm going to read you another one to compare. Okay. The next one is called Prickly Pear Health. And fun fact, I actually found out about this through like a femtech group chat that I'm in, Slack channel. It's really, really cool. Femtech, it'll be in the show notes. But it's called Prickly Pear Health. It's an innovative app designed as a personalized AI health companion for women, focusing on brain health during hormonal transitions like menopause. Using voice-based AI, it provides personalized insights and helps set actionable goals to enhance cognitive and emotional well-being. It makes it a powerful tool for women navigating these significant life changes, offering holistic, tech-driven support tailored to their unique needs. What are your thoughts on this?
Yeah, so I'm going to try my hardest to not make this a business meeting because I read a really interesting think piece on women's health tech innovations today, and there's a lot of great work that's being done in the industry and stuff like that, but like the question at the end of the day is, why are there so many women's health tech innovations that are going underfunded compared to a lot of like general healthcare innovations, but especially those that are founded and backed by men, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah.
And it all came down to like a few very simple steps, but one of them was like, who is buying? And because at the end of the day, if you want to raise money for something, it has to be able to exist in the marketplace. And for something like this, I think it's lovely. Like, the function of the app is great. Menopause and menopause-related symptoms are often determined by actions that were done before you turned 35. So your health, your activity levels, your toxicity levels, things like that, those all play a role into the type of menopause you're going to have, in addition to your genetics and just general environmental conditions.
Yeah.
However, behavior-based care like that, like prickly pear, and how it's being supported by AI, like, I think that innovation is great. I am just skeptical on how many people will actually use it, follow it, and pay for it to see a benefit. Especially as it relates to menopause.
Yeah.
Or just generally, but especially menopause.
So question, I want you to put yourself in, you are a woman in menopause. You're having these symptoms. Your brain chemistry literally changes.
Changed, yeah. I hate everyone.
You hate everyone, but you're just a girl.
Not to generalize. But
Not to generalize. You're just a girl. You're going through these symptoms. Also hot flashes, huge symptom of menopause. Not everyone gets them, but
hot flashes, vaginal dryness, irritability, joint pain.
Yeah. Like, okay, so put yourself in that mindset. There's these two solutions on the table. This hot flash wristband and this AI to help your brain health throughout menopause. Which one are you picking?
Can I ask a question first? Is the technology tool, is that actually helping me, or is it just tracking my symptoms?
No, it's let me read part of it again.
I'm scared.
It says it provides personalized insights and helps set actionable goals to enhance cognitive and emotional well-being. So it's giving you tips on how to help your well-being through brain power during the transition of menopause. Does that make sense?
And we're saying in a world where both of these things could work.
Yeah. You're so skeptical.
I'm
face right now, you guys need to zoom in on her face. She's like, Tosi, I don't know what this is. We need a beta test. Are these real?
Yes.
These are real. These are out on the market actively today right now. You can go and see Prickly Pear in the App Store. I downloaded it.
Prickly Pear actually sounds familiar.
Really?
Yeah. But I would actually probably still choose, if the bracelet works, I'd choose a bracelet.
Wow. I was not expecting that from you.
Simply because, for me personally, it's hard for me to believe in apps to solve my problems. And I'm more likely to lean on hardware to solve my problem, like an Apple Watch, a Garmin watch, things of that nature, as opposed to me checking into an app. Like, I for me personally, I was never really on like the Calm or the Headspace wave, or like utilizing those tools as a way to like increase or lower my stress levels and stuff like that. Like,
I use the Calm app every night.
Yeah. So would you choose the app?
I think that I would choose the app. And again, this is me making an assumption about menopause that I haven't gone through. But to me, if my mental well-being is not there, I want a solution for that versus hot flashes. Like,
but what if your mental well-being is not there because you're sweating all the time?
Well, then that's the root of the problem. But I wasn't assuming that. Because I was assuming that my mental well-being, because of the change in your hormones and like your brain chemistry throughout menopause, that's the root cause versus my...
And you think an app can help?
I don't know. Maybe. I would try it. Listen, I think I'm an innovator on like the bell curve. You know that bell curve? I don't think I'm the first one. I think I'm like the early adopter. I think that's me.
Of?
Like femtech products.
Yeah.
Specifically.
But like femtech applications. I know femtech products generally, but like relating to what we were just talking about, like you are more likely to test out applications whether or not they are like proven to be effective.
Yeah. I would be a beta tester.
Yeah.
I really would. Maybe you know why I think I have this mentality? Grad school. Because there are so many research studies done, so much research, and I'm like, I see the benefit of it. I'm going to have to figure out how to do my thesis. I need people to fill out my surveys.
Yeah.
Like, I get it, but research is so necessary to create a path forward, I think.
Yeah. Listen, man. I just want to see more and more directional and more aligned dollars being spent in the health tech, femtech space.
Yeah.
So I embolden all of my health innovators and female health founders to be very strategic and poignant with the innovations that we're bringing to the marketplace and thinking about them both as life and marketplace and industry changing opportunities, but then also thinking about them as sustainable and scalable businesses as well. Because I think that we all have really great ideas of things that we want to see in the world, but we don't always know how they're going to float.
Yeah.
Because I don't know if I'd pay for that.
I hear you. I hear you.
That's just me.
But I hear you, and I think that we need to have a step one before we can figure out something that you would like that would help your menopause that you would pay for. With all this stuff in the market now, you're able to decide what you want to do. I think that is the true power of a marketplace. You get to decide based off the products, or if it's not there, you get to try to create something. What?
Because it's bringing up so many other thoughts about the marketplace in healthcare. Because not technically, but like historically, a woman going through menopause seeks out care from their doctor. You know, you can get hormone, various hormones injected or ingested to help with your menopause symptoms. You can go through I've heard everything. Like patches, injectables, suppositories, both under the tongue and vaginally, like all of the things. But like those are either pharmaceuticals or something that's like prescribed from your doctor, something like that. And then we're in this like tricky spot in healthcare right now where there's just HBS grads that are also like innovating on the same things, and it's so interesting, and it's a whole nother topic of conversation. But that was like half my face because you're saying marketplace, and I was like,
is it because it's because you think that there's like too much alphabet soup?
No,
in terms of innovation for.
I think it's really cool. I love seeing innovation, and I'm saying that as like a healthy, able-bodied person who also hasn't been going through many chronic conditions in their life. Yeah. I feel like if I was in that boat, I would be very frustrated with some of the health innovation of today's current marketplace because it is keeping the status quo without forcing the provider and the healthcare system to adapt.
I see where you're going. You're getting at we're putting a Band-Aid. On
the marketplace. Like
the marketplace is putting a Band-Aid on the greater issue of having of
expensive drugs, inequitable healthcare, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah, I hear that too. I think that's relevant.
Yeah.
We could talk about that. We talk about that all the time.
I know.
We talk about it all the time.
And that's why I think also too, that's kind of why I lean towards being in support of hardware.
As opposed to
software when it comes to health, unless it's diagnostic in nature or tracking, like a period tracking app. I'll support because like I need somebody to do that. Like that's something that I would do. But like something that is directly related to behavior change, but I'm going to an app to try and like help me figure it out. It's, I don't know, for me personally, it's not my learning style.
And that's relevant. Because you're a whole group of people who don't do that. I like apps. Well, I like them, but I also hate my phone. Exactly. So, do I actually like apps? I don't know.
Fun fact, really quick story. I don't remember if it was it was like the beginning of last year. We were doing fertility and cycle tracking as one of our body talk topics. And we taught and gave out basal body thermometers as part of the giveaway. And I don't track my ovulation with a basal body thermometer, but I tried because I was advocating for it because of Criado. And why it didn't work is because I would take that. First of all, I'd rather forget to, because you have to take it as soon as you wake up in the morning, like before you have even thought, take your temperature. So that was the first problem. And then I would take the temperature, and then I didn't want to get on my phone until like a couple 15, 20 minutes later. I forgot the number.
Yeah.
The phone part was interesting.
I think it's really interesting the learning phases we've been through with Criado in terms of like, was that our first body talk?
I think so.
One of our first body talks. And on the flip side of things, it's like I, to this day, take my basal body temperature every single day.
Do you still wear the thing?
Yeah.
I think like that's also a hardware.
But I have to let it upload to my app. So like I take it off, I Bluetooth it and turn my app on and it goes to
every
my app.
morning?
Every morning. It's my routine now. Yeah. But the reason is like with my PCOS, it helps me predict my cycles. Like I have a need.
Yeah.
And I think now that I know it's not just to get you to figure out when you can get pregnant, but it's also to keep track of your hormones, quite literally. I'm not going to get into it. Mm-hmm. Your temperature spikes when your hormones shift and you're about to start your cycle, kind of. But like that to me is such cool data that I can see on a chart every single day for myself, that I don't need to go in and spend money for a doctor to do. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And not in a very new season of Black Mirror, I would pay for the upgraded version that did it automatically.
Oh my gosh. We can talk about this Black Mirror a little bit, only because, no spoiler alerts, but they had a very fertility-driven, health-driven episode that I think is so relevant to talk about. Because it freaked me the heck out of like, this is the direction that our world could be going.
Yeah, especially as it relates to subscriptions.
Yeah.
And then, don't get me started, I already don't like the app.
She's like, see? No app. Literally. Ugh. Crazy. No, but if you guys haven't seen Black Mirror, you should see it. That's all I'm about to say. You got something else?
I do.
This will probably be our last topic, too.
Yes, and they all kind of go into one, and it's a good transition. So,
okay.
Did you know that when you have a joint replacement, so whether it's a knee replacement or a hip replacement, anything related to your joints, you have to take antibiotics before receiving dental work for up to 2 years after?
I'm going to repeat this back to you. When you get a joint replacement, after the surgery is done, you have to take antibiotics for 2 years.
Up to 2 years. If you're
going to get your teeth, something done with your teeth.
Even in cleaning.
Interesting. I did not know that.
Isn't that fascinating?
Yeah.
Yes, because that is the
yes. Isn't it? I know it is because I brought it here.
Because there's a degenerative joint disease that travels through the blood that can be contracted from dental work. And those that have had knee and hip replacements are more susceptible because obviously they have had recent trauma to that space. And it was fascinating. I learned that talking to my mom, who recently had a knee replacement and didn't know she needed to be on antibiotics before she got her teeth cleaned.
Wow.
Go ahead.
I was going to say the only reason I know a little bit about that is because of Lade. And like she talks about all the time. That's why when you're pregnant, like, what was Lade saying? She was saying your mouth is the same blood that goes everywhere. And it's like the most open source. It's open to the world. All of your other blood is not open to the world. So like it makes kind of sense, but I wouldn't know that if my sister wasn't a dentist.
Yeah, and I feel like generally a lot of other people don't know that. Yeah. Not that a knee replacement, hip replacement is that common for those under 50, but it leads me to what I wanted to talk about with like some additional points about the non-aesthetic changes that happen to your body after you turn 30. So I think that oftentimes in today's day and age on Instagram, TikTok, wherever, people are talking a lot about what happens aesthetically. It's like, oh, your skin starts to sag. I need Botox, or my hair is growing. My hairline's receding.
Yeah.
Your back hurts. Your teeth are falling out. Your knees.
Your knees hurt. Your knees hurt. Bro, I'm not even 30 yet. No, this is crazy.
And you're just getting started.
No, this is actually crazy. And I am not even being as proactive as I can be in this. I got one more year. In this 1 year, like the little things such as like weightlifting.
Oh, also can help with your menopause.
Yes. Like after school, I just said, I'm never lifting a weight again. No one's ever telling me what to do. But listen, it's not about that. Like the way my body is hurting, and it really like affects my mood. Like
your day-to-day life.
It affects me mentally. And it's so frustrating. Cause like you said, you're
Fine
young,
presenting.
you a girl out here doing it, but like, listen, I'm hurting sometimes, and then that pisses me off.
Yeah, I saw a really funny TikTok that was just like, you know what? I cracked what's wrong with the world. It's not that we don't like people. It's not like this person doesn't respect this person. It's that you've had that rotten tooth in the back of your mouth since you were 19 years old, and your back has not been popped since you were 33. Like, all of the physical ailments that just start to add up that you can get used to over the years and just write it off to aging. I think that is actually an epidemic. People getting used to being in pain, people getting used to not being able to move fully. And yes, I'm not saying that at 45 you should be able to run as fast as you were when you were 18.
Yeah.
But there is a level of mobility and agility that I think that we as sedentary humans and both sedentary Americans have gotten used to coping with. And I've also been guilty of this. There's this like term going around on TikTok. It's like not new, but like they're calling it dead butt syndrome. And you get it from sitting at your desk all day. And
what
it's
is
like
dead butt?
So it's like for those who are office workers or who sit at a desk and computer all day long, this is such an inoptimal position for your health and for the mechanics of your body, sitting in a chair. Your glutes are 100% unengaged. Your lower core 100% unengaged. And ultimately what begins to happen...
Like, not me sitting up straight.
Yeah. Listen. Well, ultimately what begins to happen is because your glutes have become so weak, your hips are now weak, your quads start to overcompensate. That's why your knees hurt. And now your knees are in pain. Now you're overcompensating your knee mechanics. Now your ankles start getting tight. And like, it just starts to... And it's all because you sit at your desk all day.
Oh, my God.
And you're not like doing what you need to do to strengthen those supporting muscles.
And so, but this is my question. Is a 1 hour a day workout class going to do that?
I'm so glad you asked, because I'm here to ring the bells in support for a methodology that I've learned called F45.
Oh my gosh.
Tosi's heard me talk about it. I started F45 probably like a year ago at this point. We took a break like halfway through because it does get expensive, but F45 is the best workout for those who are in their late 20s and beyond. I think it is the most effective use of time for making sure that you're using your body in the ways that you're supposed to. It literally stands for functional 45. We talk about how to use your supporting muscles that might be underworked because you're sitting at your desk all day, and it makes a huge difference. So to answer your direct question, no, you don't have to go pay for an expensive gym membership to feel better in your body. But yes, a 1 hour a day workout 3 days a week will make the adjustments that you need to feel better in your body. I have had so many surgeries in my life, and I have gone through so many different workout protocols, plans, trainers, positions, the whole nine. And it has gotten harder, obviously, as time has gone on. I've gotten older, but working out and lifting weights has been the one consistent thing that can help me feel better, get me back on track.
Wow.
It's insane.
And I think it's also like, from what I'm hearing, it's not just the hour at F45, but they teach you the relevance when you're outside of it, so you become more aware of your body and the muscles.
Yes.
Right?
What really sold me was recently there was a class that they did strength and mobility, and it was 4 sets total. So a set is when you complete one round of like your workout. So whether it's like 6 reps, that's like 1 set. So it was 4 sets total, but your first set was a mobility set. So let's say you're doing like a reverse lunge. First, you would do a mobility round of frog pose. So it's like in yoga where you have like your knees spread wide, but then you add a twist to it.
Yeah.
So it's like you're really stretching that lumbar spine, but then also allowing your hips to sit lower, allowing your supporting like glute medius muscle to get that work that it needs to. So when you go into your reverse lunge and you already warmed up those muscles, you feel it. And like that's what's really transformative about like working out as you continue to get older, is like maintaining that mind-body connection.
Yeah.
I think regardless of age, that's like the one thing that to me as someone who's been heavy and then been small and then been injured and then been strong again. Like, mind-body connection is like the most important part of that, because you could be working out so incorrectly, but like you're performing the movement. But it's like you are putting so much pressure on your lower back. Like, just think about your glute, you know?
Yeah.
So that's what F45 teaches in a way that other studios don't.
Yeah.
I really appreciate.
I want to go into more the mind-body connection. What does that mean to you? Like, what is your definition of mind-body connection?
So at a high level, mind-body connection is just the ability to visualize the muscle that you're working and then sending, like, I don't say
energy?
Sending the power, sending the energy to it. And I was like going to preface and say, like, working out for me is very spiritual, but like that part of it is, it's like when I am in the zone of like doing a proper mechanics workout and I'm actually locked into my body, I can visualize what it's like for my quad to contract in that moment, like as I'm squeezing. And that is what mind body connection is. It's like, I think for those who are not as deep, don't need to think about it that seriously, it's just like being able to visualize what you're wanting to occur and not just moving your body into position because you were told to do it.
Because you see someone else doing it, so they're leaning that way, let me lean this way.
Right. It's like, let me engage my core, squeeze my belly button to my back, contract my oblique. Whoa, that's what an oblique contraction feels like.
Yeah.
And then being able to see it.
Yeah. I love mind body connection. And my introduction to this was through yoga. Specifically working with my pregnant moms was teaching them about their pelvic floor. And like when you birth, this is what pushing feels like. Like you can literally, it's not TMI. So this is a women's wellness podcast, people wellness. You can literally put your fingers in you and feel yourself contract and release so that when they tell you to push, you're not pushing. You're not just like bearing down and pushing. You literally have to release these muscles and allow them to open as you engage like your transverse abdominals. So what does that even mean? If you don't have mind-body connection, that won't mean anything to anyone. So you do have to teach the awareness of what does working your transverse abdominals feel like. And we do it in a way that's not like sit-ups, because those are technically your abs.
Right.
But we do it in a way where you're blowing through a straw.
Yeah.
Like that's how I teach my clients how you connect your mind to your body in that moment. So then it becomes muscle memory. So now you're in the room and you're just, you know what it feels like to work those muscles. So I love mind body connection.
Yeah.
But you do have to make a conscious effort in every activation that you do to engage in that way, or else you will just go through the motions.
Yeah. And I think you would support me in saying this, that I and Criado declare that for the month of May, we'll be giving away one F45 membership to a lucky Body Talk or community class attendee.
Surprise!
I think that works.
I like it.
It's fantastic.
Yeah. And
I want to work with them. So F45.
I was about to say F45, we do community classes.
Our community needs this.
Yeah, as much as you're talking to me about it.
Yeah, I've convinced everyone in my life. At first, I was like, I need to gatekeep this. I don't want anybody here. Now, I'm telling everyone.
Not you being a gatekeeper for a year.
It hasn't been a full year. I have one more thing that I want to talk about.
Okay.
I just want to give a shout out to my tennis team. We are an Atlanta-based all-women's tennis team with ages ranging. I'm like one of the youngest people on the team. Ages ranging from 28 to 60. Mm-hmm. And we were the City of Atlanta finalists for Atlanta City Finals, and we're heading to the State of Georgia State Championships for tennis, USTA, United States Tennis Association State of Georgia Finals this weekend.
Period.
So shout out to my tennis team. I love being able to be in community with so many women that value movement and value community in this way. It's awesome. I've met so many amazing ladies, and we're just we're setting the groundwork for such a successful future, moving our bodies in this way, this intentionally, our minds. Racket sports are one of the best sports that you can play for longevity. So I love to be a part of that.
Really?
It's really cool, and we're good.
Stand on it. Period. Shout out to the tennis team.
We're called 40 Love.
40 Love. Shout out to you guys. This was fun.
This was fun.
It's always fun. This is literally my favorite time of the month. And Oh.
May is Men's Fertility Awareness Month. That's something that we forgot to talk about today during the episode, but something that I wanted to bring up before we parted. Community health is not just a women's sport. We're in this together, building more healthy and more equitable communities. So when it comes to successful birth outcomes and successful community health outcomes, men's health is just as equally a part of the conversation. So in May, we will be celebrating Men's Fertility Month with some different posts on our socials and engaging with some cool members in our community that are interested in men's fertility, just like we are.
Yes. Period. Thank you for that reminder.
Of course.
Yay.
Yeah,
Well,
thanks for watching. Thanks for tuning in.
yeah. Thanks, everybody.
Be sure to catch us next month right here on Criado.
On Criado. Criado 247 on YouTube.
Go Criado everywhere else. Bye.
Bye.